This is my story, a story of inspiring bravery. One day in June, I was born, happy and healthy. Little did I know, I was sent here on a mission to help others feel less alone. At 3, my teachers deemed me developmentally delayed. But that was far from what would happen next. Whenever I was 4, my biological dad threw me across the living room. I hit the top of my head on the ceiling and the back of my head on the wall, and I slid down. He said, "If you tell anybody, I will unalive you." So therefore, I wasn't checked out because I didn't tell anybody. After that, I realized that my coordination and balance was off, and as I got older, I began to believe it was all my bio dad's fault. As time went on, more symptoms began to pop up. At 7, I began to have migraines, and eventually they found out I had glaucoma while I was under the knife for lens implants. But having it treated didn't help. At around 8 or 9, I began to have tremors, and also my grades in school were bad. And around the same age, kids began to bully me because I was different than them. Eventually, I also went to summer camp for the first time, and I ended up being kicked out of summer camp, and the camp counselor said something heartbreaking to me. "Muriel, you have special needs." The same year this happened, I was having a hard time seeing far away. So therefore, I was sent to the Arkansas School for the Blind. Then we ended up moving to Tennessee, so therefore I went to the Tennessee School for the Blind. In 2015. That same year, I had something devastating happen to me. I had my first seizure on the school bus. And when that was happening, I had my first out-of-body experience. I remember it was like I was looking down on my body. I heard the voice of God say, "If you want to stay on earth, then don't look up." After that, I woke up on the ambulance. They said that I had turned blue and that it lasted for an hour. My life totally changed that year because they didn't go away. In October 2015, I had many blood tests, my first EEG, MRI, and CT scan. And on October 23, 2015, all tests came back inconclusive. And after all that, I had many blood tests, and they were all normal. My seizures got so bad that I had to wear a harness on the school bus. Despite all this, I fought with a smile on my face. People say my infectious smile lights up the entire room.
Hi, babe. What are you doing? What are you doing? Riding to school?
Despite everything
Are you
that
having fun
was
yet?
going on with me, I still tried to live a normal life. Heck, I even went to the mini prom at the Tennessee School for the Blind. I tried out for cheerleading and wrestling, but was rejected due to not being able to do as well as others due to issues with coordination. However, I was able to be in several plays. Throughout my life, I have had many ambulance rides and many hospital visits. In 2016, I had many trips to the hospital, many tests done, all coming back inconclusive. they still couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I still kept a smile on my face and even had fun. I went to the summer camp at the Tennessee School for the Blind in 2017. Not having answers and having people pick on me and claim I'm faking because I didn't have any answers got so depressing, and I began to feel like I was fighting tooth and nail to survive. Eventually, I tried to commit unalive by jumping out of a second-story window, breaking my left foot. Or was it my right? It's been so long since this happened that I don't really remember. Anyways, me and my sisters were taken into DCS custody partly because of this. Don't get me wrong, my parents are really good parents. This should have never happened. After all, they weren't the ones picking on me. While I was in DCS custody, I had many doctor's visits and many tests ran. I was in DCS custody for several months. While I was in DCS custody, I also got kicked out of the Tennessee School for the Blind because my seizures were so severe. Then came the day where I was tested for autism. The test came back positive. I was then sent to Bernalillo Academy. On the first day, I had a really bad seizure that I almost did not. While I was there, I lost almost all the vision in my right eye, causing tunnel vision, and I lost all the vision in my left eye. I fought 6 whole months to finally come back home. It was bad enough to where I had to start using an eye-seeing cane to get around. After so long, I finally went to my glaucoma specialist, and the tests confirmed that I do have tunnel vision and I am blind in my left eye. Even in 2018, I was still in and out of hospitals for seizures. Yet, I still kept a smile on my face. A smile of bravery. I fought against all odds. That same year in 2018, I was taken off of lithium, and still the tremors did not go away. You may see me struggle, but you will never see me give up. Eventually, due to my seizures, I ended up switching to homebound school. And eventually, I dropped out because of them, and also because I couldn't keep my grades up. I was having cognitive issues. For example, issues with retaining knowledge, which led to low grades. Eventually, I also started having issues with my feet, and I was diagnosed with posterior tibial tendon dysfunction. I also began having an abnormal gait, and also started having issues with picking my legs up all the way. In 2021, I began to wear a helmet to protect my head from falls. By the year 2021, I began having mild memory issues and would occasionally forget what people have said. I also began having issues with controlling my bladder, and that same year began having more weakness in my legs and issue with poor control over them. It was finally noticed by a physical therapist in 2022. No amount of physical therapy could bring back any of the abilities I had lost due to all the symptoms. Also by 2022, I started having pain that would never go away. It lasted 24/7, dystonia-like symptoms. In 2023, I had Bell's palsy on and off a couple times. Also in 2023, I began to lose my proprioception to the point where I feel like I could end up toppling over. I lost my ability to run and to jump. I developed tics, and a few months later, I began having episodes of paralysis after my seizures. Eventually, towards the end of May, I had a seizure that paralyzed me from the waist down, and it was so bad, it landed me in the hospital for 4 days. I underwent multiple tests, a CT scan, an MRI, and EEG. Then they examined me for the Hoover sign, and on the 4th day, I was given a paper before discharge that would change everything, as I finally knew the name of the monster ravaging my body. Functional neurological disorder. It took 16 years to get a diagnosis, 16 years too late. Recent research shows the sooner you are diagnosed with FND, the more likely symptoms will improve with proper symptom treatment. But for those diagnosed too late, the prognosis isn't good. Symptoms won't improve. Functional neurological disorder, or also known as FND, is a multi-network nervous system disorder that largely impacts the functioning of the brain and nervous system, causing many neurological symptoms. Examples of those symptoms would include seizures, tremors, tics, issues with coordination or gait, and many others. A few months after my diagnosis of FND, I became a volunteer for a nonprofit called Not Defined by FND. I even had my story told by them, both in a YouTube video and on their website. To this day, I'm still kicking FND's butt with a smile on my face. However, some days I still grieve the abilities functional neurological disorder has taken from me. I won't stop fighting, I won't stop smiling, and I will never give up. For I have no clue what the future holds. Never take life for granted, because in a blink of an eye, everything can change. So forgive often and love with all your heart. Live big and cherish the time you have, because tomorrow is never promised. That breath that you just took, that's a gift.
I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough. But something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups.